Welcome along to Game of the Week for round number 14. The Catalan Dragons hosting the Leigh Leopards. As it says there, the Leigh Leopards enter the real house of the Dragon. This should be fantastic. Prime time TV, Saturday night, 5:30 in the UK. Who needs Doctor Who? Forget about the European Championships. All you're going to see there is grown men falling over and crying. This is about brutal sport. This is about the best sport that there is in the world. It's rugby league. It's back in Super League this week. The Leigh Leopards desperately now need to be going on a charge to try and get into the playoffs. As for the Catalan Dragons, as you know, they are in free fall. And a big shout out to Seth Stale and all the Be the Roarers over there in the south of France or in Spain at this moment in time. Oh, a record-breaking amount of rugby league fans from the UK going over to Perpignan, showing the bigger teams, dare I say it, how it should be done. Many congratulations to you, Be the Roarers. Make sure you make loads of noise. What a fantastic effort from each and every one of you. I really hope you enjoy the sunshine and I hope you enjoy the game. Of course, we're not biased here at Super League Raw. We just want quality rugby league on show this Saturday night for our viewing entertainment, and I'm absolutely positive we are going to get that. This is the league table, and as you can see, the Dragons are falling. They now are in 5th place on 16 points, and that means, of course, they're 7 points ahead of the Leigh Leopards. Leigh have to start reeling in the likes of the Giants, the Rhinos, the Red Devils, and the Dragons. They will see that as a real opportunity. As we've said, the Dragons at the moment in really poor form. They have lost 4 of the last 5. That's not good enough. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail in a few moments' time. Leigh, however, come into this game having a bit of a better record in the last 5. Won 3, drawn 1, but lost the last one to Hull KR. Like I say, we'll take a look at that in a bit more detail in a few moments' time. Last season, it was 3-0 to the Catalan Dragons. Twice, Leigh went to the Stade Gilbert Brutus, and on both occasions they went down, but they were really close games, 14-6 and 38-30. We'd love a bit of that, wouldn't we, on Saturday night? And then, of course, they completed the hat-trick at the Leigh Sports Village in round number 22 with a 30 points to 14 win over the Leigh Leopards. But hey, 2024, 8 times these two teams have met, and only once have the Leigh Leopards beaten the Catalan Dragons, and that was this year in round 9.
Another chip ball goes in, and this time it bounces into the hands of Tom Amon, and Amon could be away here. He needs some support though over the halfway line. He's just run out of steam. Leotelli wasn't far away, but it was a great covering ball there from Tom Amon.
Brilliant response.
Turning defence into attack.
Excellent response from Tom Amon, and now the Leopards are in the clear.
Charlie down the left side. Charlie has found the gap. Charlie will score the opening try of the game, and it all stemmed from that collection from Tom Amon.
And he's agoraphobic, is Tom Amon. He's looking for defenders to crash into. But the next play, the Leigh Leopards composed, calm, Moylan out left to Lamb, and Lamb finds the ball in turn to O'Donnell, who feeds Charlie.
Quick hands again, and Leotelli. As Charlie just holds his hands out there and was waiting for the pass. He was desperate for it there. Moylan, though, switches inside, and Lamb goes back in. He might get a chance here this time. Back into the middle for Kai O'Donnell.
And it's an exchange of passes between Matt Moylan and Lachlan Lamb. Really smart play.
Opportunity to strike again here as Lamb comes towards the edge. High ball over the top from Moylan to Hanley. And Moylan Hanley in acres of space on the right flank.
What a beautiful try assist to back up the one for Kai O'Donnell 2 minutes earlier.
Will pick it up at dummy half in towards Lachlan Lamb. Here he is, the big fella, Asiata. Oh, I do want Brad Dwyer did well to keep hold of that. Dwyer's got himself a little bit of space, but he's running into bodies now. Kai O'Donnell. O'Donnell steps through. Kai O'Donnell will get a second try of the game.
His second of the night. Dwyer in open space. It's an absolute nightmare for the Catalan Dragons defence.
Score 2, yeah, I will do.
Here's Asiata, and he finds Moylan. Moylan is away here. Matt Moylan! Has he managed to put it down? The referee says yes.
And that's game. That is game, ladies and gentlemen.
As Doc Emmett Brown said in Back to the Future, if you're going to beat the Catalan Dragons, do it with a bit of style. And that is exactly what the Leigh Leopards did at the LSV to the Catalan Dragons. Some beautiful tries there, were the Kai O'Donnell one, the back and two between Lamb and Munn, floated ball over the top. Leigh Leopards were purring on the night against the Catalan Dragons. It was absolutely sensational. Clearly, probably their best game of the season thus far. A lot of the tries coming down the left edge you'll have seen there, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, because maybe, just maybe, they want to shift that to the right for this game. We'll get into a bit more detail around that in a few moments' time. The squads are in. Let's take a look at those. Here they go. Starting with the Catalan Dragons. Artur Morg there. He'll play fullback, you'd expect. The two wingers are there, Davies and Johnston. Good to see Artur Romano back. Of course, he was out for injury recently. Matt Ikevalu also in the squad. So maybe their first choice centres will be on the field for this one. Theo Fage would expect to partner Jordan Abdul in the centres. Of course, the announcement that Mike McMeekin's going to be out for a long, long time. But the interchange is still there in terms of the forward pack. Bousquet will probably start, probably alongside Devereux, with the power bombs that are Chris Satai and Jordan Desiree coming off the bench. That's a big problem for the Catalan Dragons. Mickey McAloran back in the squad. You'd expect him to be in second row, possibly alongside, in Mickey McAloran the hooker. What am I about second row? Mickey McAloran back in the side at hooker. In terms of the second row, Paul Seguer, possibly Bailey Sivanen as well. Alex Da Costa on the bench. He'll probably interchange, you would have thought, perhaps with McAloran, or will that be Jaden Nicarima? We'll have to wait and see on that score. And of course, the captain Ben Garcia. Now there was a lot of question marks over a lot of these players, so don't be surprised if some of these first choice names are not in the starting 17 for the Catalan Dragons. There was a long list to be confirmed, but a lot of those have found their way into the squad. One of them, who was a big question mark, was the captain, Ben Garcia. That will be a massive, massive loss. And who knows, Cesar Rouge may get a game. He has not let anybody down in recent times for the Catalan Dragons. He also could feature in this game. But I think the absolute certainties would be certainly Morg, Davis, Romano, Ikevalu, Johnston. I'd expect it'll be a start of Fage and Abdul in the second row. The prop forwards will be as described a few moments ago. It'll be Mickey McAloran in there somewhere. And then it's a question mark over who will be on the bench. Will it be Nicarima, Da Costa or Rouge? That's a big question there. Seguer and Sivanen, I would expect to be in second row. Garcia, I would expect, of course, at loose forward, providing he is fit. Let's go over now, though, to the Leigh Leopards. And great news for you Leopards fans. Gareth O'Brien appears to be back fit and well. That's a real Brucey bonus. I'd expect him to maybe slot straight back in at fullback so that Zach Hardacre can go back into the centres. I think they're a better side when it's a Hardacre and Latelli partnership. Ricky Latelli this season, quite simply exceptional. Clearly, many people very, very surprised that the Leigh Leopards have not decided to retain Latelli, because quite frankly, if you get into the detail, folks, he's one of the top centres in Super League in 2024. On the wings will be Hanley and Josh Charnley. In the centre, in the half-back pairing of Matt Moreland and Lachlan Lamb, I think that will happen. Will he put Moreland at full? I just don't see it. I think with O'Brien back, we saw that he put Zach Hardacre there last time. It looks like Moreland is back in the halves alongside Lockie Lamb. Tom Amone will be in the front row. The question mark will be who will be up there with him. Obviously, the likes of Norman Trout are in there. They are missing some big personnel, Lee, in terms of off the bench. We know that Kai O'Donnell will be in second row. Frankie Holton, will he put Frankie at prop? We know they put Jack Hughes there this season. Who knows? But yeah, it's not quite right in those middle unit areas at this moment in time for the Leigh Leopards. But as they've shown all season, they will be competitive. Of course, still missing the likes of Robbie Mulhern and John Asiata, albeit they're a few weeks away. So that's a positive for the Leigh Leopards. Let's get into some stats then around these two. And we saw this graphic on Super League Raw Weekly. There you can see it, 7-1 since 2017. But that last win that we just saw from Leigh was comprehensive, albeit, if you remember, Asiata was back for that. I think Mulhern may have been, if memory serves me right. So yeah, there were players still missing at that time, the likes of Pape, etc. So Leigh won that game. They played really, really well, and absolute credit to them for that. But you can see the form guide does favour the Leigh Leopards. In that run of games, Leigh Leopards a win. That win against Catalan only 5 back. That's that first win there that you see in 30 points to 2. They then went and drew against Castleford, and I think that everybody agreed that was all credit to Castleford. A brilliant comeback to draw that 128 apiece. Then they went to Salford and won comprehensively 40 points to 12. Then it was off to Huddersfield Giants, a 16-10 win at the Giants before that loss to Hull KR 12-0 last time out. As for the Catalan Dragons, like I say, that loss against Leigh has put them on a really bad run, a bad run of results. They then went and lost to Wigan 30 points to 8 at the DW Stadium. They then beat the Leeds Rhinos 26 points to 0 at home before Warrington went there and won 16-8. And then on the road last time out to St Helens, they lost 24 points to 12. Let's take a look at the two teams in terms of statistically. This is how they look. The pack meters favour the Catalan Dragons. Now, people will say, how have I done this? So please listen to what I'm about to say. Leigh have played a game less. So this is on a game-by-game basis. It's not in balance, the statistics that you're looking at. This is on a game-by-game basis. Okay, so 497 pack meters to 490. Not an awful lot in that, but look at the busts. That's what I mean about Satai and Desiree. That's the damage that they do. 17.5 average bust from the pack, including the second rows and the loose forwards. As well, and just for your information, those stats are based on Busquets, Navarrete, Siguer, Sirinan, Garcia, Satai, and Desiree. That is what is making up these stats for the Catalan Dragons. That is who we expect at Super League Raw to be on the field, unless one of those is pulled out through injury at the last minute. So 17.5 tackle pack bust to 7.4. We based the Leigh Leopards on Amon, Trout, O'Donnell, Holton, Hughes, Norman and Davis. That's what we based the Leigh Leopards on, because again, that is who we expect to be in and around those middle unit places for the Leigh Leopards. If you look at the back meters, again, let's just classify who we're talking about in terms of who we expect to be the backs for this game on Saturday. Arthur Morg, Tom Davis, Arthur Romano, Matt Ikevalu, and Tom Johnston. That is what we based it on for Catalan. As for Leigh, we have put O'Brien at fullback, Hanley and Charlie on the wings, with Hardacre and Latelli in the centre positions. Again, the pack meters as an average per game goes the way of the Catalan Dragons, as does the busts. The breaks a little bit better on the Leigh Leopards side this season. But there, look at the tries. 24 to 19. 24 to 19. More potency out of the back for the Leigh Leopards. They're actually, it couldn't be tighter between these two teams. I think they're on 43 tries apiece as a total during the course of the season. That is quite exceptional that we're going into this game where they're neck and neck in terms of try scoring. The back meters, again, very, very close. But look at the goals. Look at the goals. Matt Moylan with the boot this season, 74% conversion rate. Compare that to Arthur Morg, who is on 87%. That is quite interesting indeed, isn't it? Well, question now is, what do the two coaches make of this contest? Let's go and hear from Adrian Lamb. But first, Steve McNamara.
Well, Paul Seguier, Michael McAloor and Bailey Sirinan, in particular Archie Romano as well. So they're all progressing well. The week offs give them the opportunity to advance their situation. So we're not quite sure yet, but it's looking promising. Our connection last week and this week, we've had a couple of tough results. We've had some really hard games, close games, tough games, but we feel we're just probably not being as well connected with each other in certain parts of our game, and we've been working hard on that in all areas. So we managed to train hard last week. We got some good sessions in last week, which we needed, and some real good detail at the start of this week. Yeah, I think the word connection is the biggest one. I think we need to be really connected with each other. We need to get the basics right. We need to find our rhythm throughout all parts of our game and play with tempo. So, look, we're in an okay position. I think the 5th place is probably where we deserve to be at this stage, given what we've done. But we're really looking forward to the second half of the season.
Yeah, they're a big club, big team, big players in their side, and we had a reasonably good victory here against them only about 5 weeks ago. So, they would have been hurting from that, and no doubt that we'll want to send a different message and a different performance against us this weekend. We've always gone there and have been in the games right up until the very end, and I felt that we probably should have won that game there last year. It was a weird old one where they led by 20 points in the first 20 minutes. We pinned them back to lead by half time, and then led with 10 minutes to go, and they got it like a half an intercept try to secure the game. So you know, we're going to go there with a team that's a confident team playing for each other, and our standards are high at the moment. And you know, I know that they're going to be wanting to win. It's an important game for them to start at the top of the table there, but I think it's more important for us at the moment. We need to keep winning at the moment too. Yeah, I think you know, they've had a few injuries themselves over the last month of rugby, and they've chopped and changed their halves. So they've had a lot of new faces coming in different positions and people playing out of positions. So I think the team that they settle with will be a team that's a big, powerful forward pack, which is what they're known for. I think they'll play a power game against us in front of a home crowd. The conditions hopefully being hot. For them, you know, their thoughts will be around that. So I can't see it anything but a real physical, tough, power forward game. And that we will. You know, I've got a good squad here that I know that when everyone's on fit and on board, that we can win every week if we have to and we need to. So you know, we've just got to make sure that we get those reps in with all of the players and find a way to get that belief and trust back into the group. It's already there, but you know, when you win one and win two and some of the bigger games as well, you can build confidence really, really quickly and get on a roll, and that's what we need to do. So there's a lot of coaching that needs to be done in between now and the next 6 weeks to make sure we get that right. And you know, there's been a lot of hard work in there. So you know, fingers crossed that we get the rewards that we deserve.
Both coaches there talking ahead of this game this coming Saturday. Steve McNamara spot on. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Since probably the KR game, so, you know, the first 8 games of the season, 27 points on average is what the Catalan Dragons scored this season. Since Leigh beat them at the Leigh Sports Village, that has absolutely shot down to only 11. That's a massive concern. For whatever reason, the Catalan Dragons in the last 5 games have really fell off in terms of their attacking structures. I mean, again, we go back to the fact how it's Theo Farge, whose job it is to create in the top echelons of the Albert Gold for. We really are scratching our heads here at Super League Raw. We think you probably are too. As for Adrian Lamb, I think he knows this is a game that really they need to try and start to win these ones now. Like I said right at the beginning of the show, the likes of Catalan, Leeds, Huddersfield, Salford, they need to be taking 2 points off them if they've got any realistic opportunity of getting back into the top 6 for the playoffs by the end of the season. He also spoke there, Adrian Lamb, about the power of the Catalan Dragons, the renown for it this season, that Desiree and Satai off the bench. Now, don't get me wrong, there's one big issue here for the Catalan Dragons. As big and as powerful as they are, their tanks are not that great. I mean, if you look at, for example, Tom Amone, we know what Tom Amone can do. Absolutely incredible in terms of what he puts in terms of the shift on both sides of the ball. Satai's not really going to do that. Neither's Desiree. They're coming for that quick punching power on 25 minutes. Leigh needs to be in the grind at that point, and then they need to really make sure that their backs are actually running at those plays to tire them out, to take the energy out of those legs, to give themselves a fighting chance. Because we know if it's a battle of sheer brutality down the middle, the chances are the Catalan Dragons will come out on top with regards to that. Right, we picked out a couple of key battles going into this game, and it won't surprise you. We're going straight to the forward unit, and as it says on the graphic, take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, yes, this is going to be fantastic, isn't it? Love a little bit of battling down the middle, and let's be fair, Chris Satai, Tom Amone, both in great form in 2024, and let's take a look at them head-to-head. Satai will try, Amone yet to get off the line in Super League, but look at the bust average, incredible, 5 to 1.8. You wouldn't have thought that, would you? Absolutely incredible for Chris Satai. Actually, I'm not quite sure about that. I have to say, no, I think it is actually. Yeah, it is 5 to 1.8. Offloads 1 to 7.75. So again, Satai more likely to offload the ball than Tom Amone. The tackle average, like I say, both sides of the ball, Tom Amone, he's a quality prop forward. They're going to miss him next season. There's no doubt about that. He puts a great shift in on both sides. 30 tackles average per game. Absolutely outstanding. Amone likes to have his hands on the ball a little bit more, and he makes more meters. That's probably because he does more minutes. Satai a bit more of punching power, like I say. 25 minutes, he'll come on and he'll be destructive. And you know, we saw it at KR. When KR went to Catalan, Desiree and Satai came on and they just basically dominated for about 15 to 20 minutes, blew KR away, and KR couldn't come back. That's something that Leigh need to be mindful of going into this game. Now, I said at the start of the show that when we saw the last battle, a lot of the tries that the Leigh Leopards scored at the LSV were on the left edge. Maybe, just maybe, they need to consider the right. If Catalan have been preparing effectively for the Leigh Leopards, the chances are they've been doing a lot of work on their defensive right edge going into this game. So why not go to the other side? Go to their left edge of defence. Because if you look at this, this is really quite interesting. First and foremost, 13 appearances played 10. Again, this is an average per game with a few exceptions. One of those exceptions being tries for the season. Johnston has scored 6. Hanley has scored 8, albeit 3 less games played for Hanley. Now let's look at the bust average. Very, very similar. Breaks, very similar. But then we come to errors. And this, for me, is a real key stat for the Leigh Leopards out there. For you be the Roarers out there, shout it, get the ball to Hanley. Because if you take a look at that there, that is quite interesting, isn't it? Now, those errors, just for sheer clarity here, Hanley, 7 handling errors, 5 missed tackles. We've actually looped them into one statistic there. So that statistic is based off 7 handling errors and 5 missed tackles. But this is why I think it's a great opportunity for the Leigh Leopards if they shift to the right edge of their attack. Because Johnston, well, 21 errors. So if you're doing kickoffs, if you're actually going to put any, if you're Matt Molan, you're Lachlan Lamb, really, if you're going to do high bombs, go to the right, don't go to the left, go to the right. 21 errors from Tom Johnston and 15 missed tackles. That's a massive opportunity for the Leigh Leopards if that is what they try and do during the course of this game. Both of them carry the ball well. As you can see, very little between them. But there you go, eh? Super League Raw, doing it again. Is that going to be the game breaker? Is that the opportunity that the Leigh Leopards needs to go out to Hanley's side as opposed to Charlie? Because let's be fair, Catalan will have prepared for that. Now, we say time and time again, it's one thing knowing what Leigh are going to do. It's another thing to stop it from actually happening. But that little shift of emphasis, maybe going over to the Hanley wing, could be quite interesting if they decide to execute that as a plan going into this game. What we'll do now, we're going to carry on the analysis of this game going forward. But before we do that, let's just bring you up to speed with a bit of Super League Raw news. You've seen in the top right-hand corner there of the screen throughout this broadcast, the quiz night tickets are on sale. Yes, next Wednesday, the 19th of June, we are holding our 3rd online Rugby League quiz. Do you know your Rugby League? Do you want to come and join us? For only £2.50, you can come and have a great night of entertainment, get involved in the quiz. It's all interactive. You play on your phone. It's multiple choice. You've got a great chance of walking away with an England Rugby League merchandise bundle worth a recommended retail price of £50. So, look, it's £2.50 for a great bit of entertainment, a little bit of testing your knowledge. But, hey, you could be the eventual winner and actually walk away with that merch. So why not give that a go? All details are in the description of this YouTube broadcast down at the bottom. So just click on the description of what this show's all about, and in there you will get the link for those tickets. Like I say, only £2.50. And if you want to bring a mate, well, the first time people, it's 2 for 1. That's not bad, is it? And if you missed it, the Rob Burrow tribute still available for you on our YouTube channel and also available as a podcast. Go and listen to that. Some really good tributes in that to Rob Burrow. Well worth your time. Right, as always on Super League Raw Weekly, we discussed with Steph Sale and with Greg Nixon this game, and this is what we had to say as part of the weekly show. Yeah, oh yes, absolutely. Nothing, not those type of parties. I know where you go with your car keys. We move on. Let's get into the Catalan Dragons taking on the Leigh Leopards. Here we go. It's a good job we've been mates for many years. Right, history since 2017. Catalan Dragons 7, the Leigh Leopards 1. Wow. But Catalan are not in good form. 1 win in the last 5 in Super League. Compare that to the Leopards. Yes, they lost last time out, but they've won 3 and drew 1 also in the last 5. And let's not forget that 1 win that the Leigh Leopards have put on the Catalan Dragons came this year in round 9 at the LSV in what was a masterclass of rugby league. That's what it was. Leigh, I don't think, have played better than that all season. They were simply superb. 30 points to 2 at the LSV. It's 5th against 9th. Look at the attack. Now, let's not forget, Leigh have played a game less. That's quite interesting. 264, 244, just 20 points in attack separates Catalan from Leigh, and Leigh have had that one game less to play. And if you look at the defence as well, yes, Catalan have a better defence, but we must, just bear in mind, Leigh have played one game less than Catalan. Catalan there having a 14-point better defence this season. The bookies, though, do see it as a Dragons win 1-3, Leopards 5-2. But what we do know is that this could almost be a home game for the Leigh Leopards, going in numbers to the point where Catalan have stopped selling the Leopards fans tickets. I salute you, every single one of you. Exceptional effort from the Leigh Leopards supporters. They'll be there in mass. Mr. Sale knows how to treat Mrs. Sale. He's taking her over for a nice Chateaubriand, a little bit of Reno, and a Leigh Leopards game to finish for dessert. Good lad. Anyway, before we come to Steph and he can bask in the glory of that, let's go to the Catalan Dragons. Mate, lot of injuries. Potentially. None of these confirmed. The one that has been confirmed is Mike McMeekin. Gone till September. We're not getting any of him. We know that Takiaho probably won't play. Might make it, but more than likely not. Then there's a list as long as your arm in terms of potentially players that are not going to be there. Manu Mao, Tanguy Zenon, Paul Seguer, Mickey McAloran, Bailey Simonon, Arthur Romano, Ben Garcia, Tariq Sims, Maximo Ikavalu. The list is as long as your arm. The good news for Catalan Dragons, though, that Ulrich de Costa could return. Now, don't get me wrong, some of those may feature, but at this moment in time, everybody that I've just mentioned are either out or a doubt for this game. That is a hell of a list for the Catalan Dragons, who are not in good form. You compare that to the Leigh Leopards. We know Asiata's out. He's gone. Hopefully, Steph's got the inside track. Gareth O'Brien, we believe, and Matt Davis expected to make this one. Robbie Mulhern the week after. And even John Asiata might be back to face the Rhinos. I've read that as well somewhere. Steph will show this up in a minute for me. Oliver Holmes could also be back as well. So, I mean, potential back for this one. O'Brien, Ollie Holmes, Matt Davis with Mulhern and Asiata in a week's time. So that's really good news for you, Leigh Leopards fans, to know that they're coming back. I think you're a completely different team with Robbie Mulhern in the front row with Tom Amone. And, of course, we know what John Asiata is all about. I'll come to you last, Steph, because then you can give us the inside track and tell us what wonderful things you've got planned for Mrs. Sale above the Rugby League. Greg, over to you. Leopards against Catalan in Perpignan.
Yeah, follow that one. I think Catalan have got a lot of injuries. This, for me, is game of the week because I think it's going to be a real good game. Catalan will have some probably younger players out there. Leigh have got some good players back. It's always a difficult place to go, is Catalan. But I am going to go Leigh 1-8. Sorry. Cancel your flights, Leigh fans.
We're not going, Vic.
She'll come in a minute, won't she? Terminator and a dressing gown.
To be honest, Steph, she want to go anyway because she don't like Chateaubriand.
Do you give the Ryanair a refund flight?
She don't like Chateaubriand. She prefers a rosé.
Right. So go on then, Steph. You've got the. Sorry, Greg. What are you going? Leigh 1-8.
Leigh 1-8.
Good man. Right, go on then, Steph. Inside track. Am I right? Is O'Brien back? Is Davis back? How far away Mulhern and Asiata? And then talk to us about this game and where you see it going, mate.
Yeah, you're spot on as usual, Mr. Statman. So yeah, O'Brien, Holmes, and Davis all potentially could feature in this one. I don't think they will. I don't think all three will feature in it, but they are back in contention. Mulhern and Asiata potentially next week, but more than likely for the Wigan game, which I think is probably the right thing to do because we have an international break as well in between the Wigan game. So I think it's 3 weeks until that game. So I'd expect him to save Asiata and Mulhern for that one. So that's the injury news, hot off the press.
Okay.
Well, firstly as well, I saw right at the beginning of the show, hello to the Leigh fans who are already there. I know there's quite a lot who've already gone out. There's some that had some flights cancelled yesterday, which so if you are listening to this and you got there safe, brilliant. Hope you've all managed to travel there safely. The numbers are just phenomenal that we're taking over for this one. I think it's a Super League record in terms of the amount of away fans that are going. Considering, like I was saying before about Wembley and the cost of living crisis, that's unbelievable. And I think officially it's 1,500. But the reason why Catalan have said put that statement out is because the Leigh fans are buying tickets in the Catalan end. Right. So the rumor is that it's north of 2,000 Leigh fans that are going out to Catalan. So if anything, the atmosphere at Catalan's amazing anyway, with the pyrotechnics, which why they're allowed them, but the clubs can't have flares. I don't know, but anyway, it's always a brilliant atmosphere in Catalan. It's not going to be no different. Perpignan is going to be rocking. I've had my Catalan cut ready. I'm all good to go.
I noticed that you were aerodynamic this evening, sir. Very nice.
They get the annual Catalan cut in. So no, we fly out on Friday. You know how much I love going to Catalan. I think it's my 6th time to Catalan. So we're looking forward to what will be an amazing weekend, come whatever the result is. But the last times we played them there, we've been very, very close games. I think that the last time we played them in June, they raced out to a 20-0 start. They are like pulls on the pits. Hopefully none of that. They raced out to 20-0 start, and then we came back, and then it was just for a soft interception try that cost us the game there, which was devastating. So I do think they've got some key injuries, Catalan. I think McMeekin's out, isn't he?
Yeah,
for this one as well, which will be huge for them when going against our pack. I think if Ipapi is fit, because he didn't look fit against OKR. If he's fit, then that could be very dangerous for us. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think this is our time to beat them. I think we've hopefully they'll be buoyed by the crowd and the fans can get them over the line. So I don't think it'll be a big score by any means. I think it's going to be a very, very close game, and I've gone Leigh 1-8.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. Lovely stuff. How did Dave and Greg feel about Warrington letting a couple of Wolves loose on the Alabama Jones pitch? We had Wolves there this season, early in the season, but they kept them under control. Right, let's have a quick look up and down the chat. Steve Eachus, he's gone Dragons 1-8. Craig Rigby's gone Leigh 1-8. Freddie McGilvey's gone Dragons 1-8. Connor Pickerman's gone Leigh 1-8. There's a little bit of a tune coming here, boys. But I mean, it really is. It's back and two this in terms of where people see it. Dawn says that the Leopards are on the rise. No surprise. Matty Sale's gone Dragons 1-8. John Wilson, Dragons 8-17. John's making up his new rules now. Good lad, keeping his foot in each camp. Well done. So that's where they all are. Right, let's go right away through him. Gary Schofield's gone Catalan 9-17. Don't think he'd have seen that injury list when he predicted that. I don't see it that big. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think Leigh will do him. I do. I think Leigh will do him. I'm going to go Leigh Leopards. I'm going to go Leigh 1-8. Greg's gone Leigh 1-8. Joel's gone Catalan 1-8. We've already heard from Steph 1-8 to Leigh, and the fans for him have gone Catalan's 9-17. So, like I say, complete split, which is what you want to see. That is exactly what you want to see, because hopefully it suggests that we're going to have a belting game down there in Perpignan. Great entertainment on a Saturday. Prime time!
We may even get some live streams from Perpignan. But I will definitely be going on the Final Whistle podcast on the Sunday, though, from Perpignan.
All the way from down in the south. Marvelous.
Yes.
Marvelous. So there you go, Steph committing to come on the Final Whistle podcast this coming Sunday. Don't forget you can download that on Monday morning from 6 a.m. for your trip into work, where we discuss with our team talk members here at Super League Raw all of the action from round number 14. You don't want to miss that. Make sure you download that on Monday morning. Visit Apple, Amazon or Spotify, and make sure you listen to the Super League Raw podcast, The Final Whistle. So to confirm, these were the game of the week predictions from the team. Gary Schofield going 9-17. The Dragons. Joel seeing it, the Dragons 1-8. And the fans form agreeing with Schofield 9-17. The Dragons, both myself, Greg and Steph, going the Leigh Leopards 1 to 8 for this one. Right, let's get in to some potential game breakers. I picked out 2 for you. No surprise, Jordan Abdul. Jordan Abdul this season has been in great form for the Catalan Dragons. Many people surprised that he's been allowed to leave to go to Hull FC for the 2025 season. 3 tries, 5 assists, very nice indeed. 1 clean break, not normally his game. 23 tackles, 128 carries for 448 metres, but it's his kicking game. 67 attacking kicks, 115 kicks in general play. Abdul, if he can be as good as he was at Halliwell Jones, that's been his best performance of the season this season, when Catalan Dragons went to Warrington earlier in the campaign and got the win. Abdul that day, unplayable. He scored a try, got 2 assists, 2 tackles. He kicked 4 from 6, and he just kicked Warrington all over the field. They just couldn't basically lay a glove on him. It was a masterclass of game management. Once Catalan got that 18 points to 0 in front after 12 minutes, Abdul at that point controlled the game. Warrington came back strong, but if it had not been for Abdul's kicking game, perhaps Catalan would have lost that. They need him to have a brilliant, brilliant game. So Jordan Abdul, game breaker, no surprise for the Catalan Dragons. As for the Leigh Leopards, has to be Matt Moylan. Has to be. He's been growing week on week throughout the season, and perhaps his best game of the season was at the LSV in round 9 when Catalan Dragons came to town. That night, he was absolutely superb. A conductor, no less, and he was conducting the orchestra absolutely outstandingly well. A try, 2 assists, 5 tackleables that night. He got a clean break, a perfect 5 from 5 with the boot. He carried the ball 19 times for 110 metres against the Dragons. If he replicates a performance like that, it could be happy days indeed for the Leigh Leopards. Look at those stats. 3 tries, 11 assists, 32 goals. We've already said, though, he's got a worse conversion percentage than Morg. That could be critical. 38 busts, 5 breaks, 190 carries this season for over 1,000 metres, and he has kicked 2 40-20s. That's a good effort, isn't it? Could that be the difference? I mean, let's be fair. If Leigh are camped in their own half and they need to get out of there, it's a really potent weapon, isn't it? A good 40-20 at the right time of the game. I can't wait for this one. It's going to be absolutely superb. The Leigh Leopards fans have gone down in numbers. The only people who are missing are Cheryl Baker. Oh, Cheryl Baker and Roy Castle. Yeah, if they were there, oh, it'd be absolutely outstanding. Will it be the land of make-believe? Will Bucks Fizz, the whole group go there? Who knows? Will it be the land of make-believe for the Leigh Leopards this Saturday at 5:30 in Perpignan? Or will Catalan Dragons get back on track after some really, really poor performances over the last 5 weeks? There's only one way that you're going to find out. You need to tune in this coming Saturday, 5:30. Get over there to Sky Sports. Nothing compares on the TV this Saturday night. For you guys over there, enjoy it. Let's make it a really good atmosphere for us viewing people over here in England. I hope the sun is shining for you all. I personally cannot wait for this game. It's just going to be outstanding, isn't it? Rugby league football. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. Another edition of Game of the Week is in the record books yet again. Who's going to be Game of the Week for round 15? Well, you need to tune in possibly to Super League Raw Weekly this coming Tuesday night, 8 p.m. live, so you can get that. And don't forget to get your tickets for the Super League Raw Quiz Night this coming Wednesday, the 19th of June, for only £2.50, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have a great night of sport and entertainment, test your knowledge against other Super League fans. We're building a great community here at Super League Raw. Come and experience it firsthand for yourself. And who knows, you could go away with that first prize. I hope you've enjoyed this Game of the Week feature. Enjoy your Rugby League this weekend. Get to the game as always. And, hey, let's hope that Rugby League is the winner once again over the course of these 6 games. Bye for now, everyone.